where we can actually make a difference in this very moment. Imagine this. You've just finished a long report, or finally cleaned up your desk. So what comes next? Here's the part most people miss. Rewarding yourself. It's not just about ticking off tasks. It's about making the process feel sustainable and enjoyable. Adding rewards to your routine helps celebrate effort and reinforce positive habits. Who doesn't appreciate a little treat after hard work? But this goes deeper than a break. It's actually a key part of a strong work ethic, one that recognizes your effort and builds future motivation. This isn't just self-appreciation. It's grounded in psychology. Rewards encourage repetition. They strengthen the behavior that came before. This matches behavioral science, including ideas from B.F. Skinner, who studied how consequences shape our actions. Now let's bring in ancient wisdom. Stoicism doesn't promote indulgence, but it does teach us to appreciate every moment and every effort. Marcus Aurelius believed there's fulfillment in work well done and pride in acting with integrity. So, in today's context, rewarding yourself can be seen as honoring discipline. You set a goal, you stay consistent, and then you celebrate that process. The key is to pick rewards that inspire without distracting. Finished a hard task? Take a coffee break. Watch an episode of your favorite show, not as an escape, but as a celebration. This builds a positive connection between completion and joy, which helps you show up again next time. Even Carl Jung recognized that recognizing our wins helps build a whole, healthy sense of self. By acknowledging your efforts, you not only motivate yourself, but also remind yourself of your own worth. Rewards also break up monotony, making long work sessions feel less heavy and boosting your creativity, and they give you something to look forward to, making hard tasks more bearable and helping you fall into a flow of focus and rest, focus and recharge. But balance is key. Rewards should push you forward, not pull you off track. That's where discipline comes in, a virtue praised by the Stoics and modern psychologists alike. The reward should follow the effort, not replace it. And there you have it, a simple way to make your work not just productive, but enjoyable too. Every task you complete is a building block toward your bigger goals, and every reward is a moment to recognize your growth before you go. Don't forget to check out the videos on your screen to keep learning and growing. Thank you for being here at Stoic Journal. Keep moving forward, keep challenging yourself, and celebrate every win. Big or small, procrastination often creeps in quietly, disguising itself as rest or harmless delay. But there's a method that cuts through that haze, simple, powerful, and proven. The 5-minute rule. Pick one task, anything. Set a timer for just 5 minutes. Then give that task your full attention until the timer buzzes. Maybe it's writing the opening lines of a blog, organizing one messy drawer, or designing the first slide of a presentation. Whatever it is, just start. The beauty of this rule lies in how little it demands. 5 minutes feels so non-threatening, even to the worst procrastinator. But here's the secret. Once you begin, momentum takes over. It actually becomes harder to stop. This taps into a psychological idea called the Zeigarnik affect. Our minds stay engaged with tasks we haven't finished. So when you start something, your brain naturally wants to see it through. Why does such a small trick work so well? Philosophically, it aligns with Stoic principles. Marcus Aurelius spoke of staying rooted in the present moment, doing what's in front of you with complete effort. This method mirrors that exactly. It doesn't ask you to tackle everything, just the next 5 minutes, and suddenly the weight of your entire to-do list vanishes. You're no longer paralyzed by scale. You're focused, grounded, and moving. Even psychologist Carl Jung supported this mindset. He believed that starting small, with intention, was more meaningful than chasing grand but vague goals. He said the least of things with a meaning is worth more than the greatest of things without it. So that first small action, however tiny, can infuse your day with value. It's far more impactful than wasting hours thinking or avoiding. Because in action, you build momentum. One powerful bonus of this technique: it takes the pressure off perfectionism. You're not aiming for a masterpiece, just a starting point. When you only commit to 5 minutes, you silence the fear of not doing it perfectly. That initial step becomes your launchpad. It breaks the mental resistance. And once you're moving, anxiety fades. The process becomes natural. If you often feel overwhelmed, stuck at the start, like even tiny tasks are too big to handle, this rule is your rescue plan. It's more than a mind trick. It rewires how you approach challenges. You shift from avoidance to engagement, from stress to progress, from dread to flow. The hardest part is beginning, and the 5-minute rule makes that easy. Now let's look at bigger goals. Starting a large project can feel like facing a mountain. The summit is far, the path unclear. But if you break it into smaller pieces, each step becomes manageable. This strategy isn't just practical, it's philosophical. Both Stoics and psychologists teach it. Seneca famously said, "We're not short on time, we just waste a lot of it." That quote is a wake-up call. Instead of getting stuck in overwhelm, focus on the now. Use your time efficiently, not by rushing, but by doing what you can where you are, one step at a time. Each action reduces anxiety, because you're not thinking about everything. You're just doing the next right thing. Psychologically, breaking things down lightens the mental load. Your brain doesn't panic when the task is small. It sees the action as doable, not threatening. And that's the key to beginning. When you take that first small action, you change your state. From stuck to in motion. From overwhelmed to empowered. That's the true power of starting. When we think about a task as a whole, it often feels overwhelming. This reaction is well understood in cognitive psychology. Tasks that are broken down into smaller, manageable steps feel less threatening to the brain, which increases the likelihood that we'll actually begin. Carl Jung once said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." That means your actions, not your intentions, define you. When we divide big projects into bite-sized actions, we become doers, not dreamers. And that's when real progress begins. Take writing a report, for example. Just seeing "write full report" on your to-do list can feel paralyzing. But what if you rewrote it as, "Choose a report topic by Tuesday"? and write 300 words of the intro by Wednesday. Suddenly it feels doable. The task is now a chain of smaller wins, each one giving you direction and momentum. That's the power of breaking things down. This strategy gives you more than just structure. It creates moments of achievement along the way. Each small victory boosts your morale and motivation. Plus, planning tasks in smaller steps naturally encourages deeper focus. According to psychology, we remember unfinished tasks more than completed ones. That's the Zeigarnik effect. It's why breaking things into parts and finishing them one by one feels so satisfying. Every small step completed adds to your momentum, and that momentum fuels even more progress. This approach matches perfectly with Agile methodology, which promotes steady progress through small, repeatable steps. Applied to daily life, this means you get things done without burnout. You learn from mistakes quickly, adjust your next steps instantly, and avoid wasting time fixing large errors later. It's a flexible and smart way to work. Like the ancient Chinese philosopher Laozi said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." That's not just poetry, it's practical wisdom. Every giant project is just a collection of small moves. Each tiny task is like a brushstroke in a painting. Individually, they may seem insignificant, but together they form something powerful. One stroke at a time, one small task at a time. You build a masterpiece through steady effort. Ever sit around waiting for motivation to magically appear? Here's a truth that might change everything for you. Motivation doesn't come first, action does. It flips the usual belief on its head. Most people think you need to be inspired before you act, but often the inspiration comes after you start. Waiting for the perfect moment is like waiting for sunshine in a season of rain. It may never come. Instead, take a small step. That first action kick starts a chain of momentum. When you start, your progress fuels motivation. And once you're in motion, it's easier to keep going. This idea is backed by both psychology and ancient wisdom. In modern psychology, it's called behavioral activation. It means doing something small can shift your entire mood. You elevate your energy, you feel more capable, and your desire to continue grows. Taking that first step gives your brain what it needs. And from there, momentum builds naturally. This idea aligns closely with the philosophy of Carl Jung, who believed that you are not what you say you'll do. You are what you actually do. In essence, our actions define us more than our intentions ever could. It's not about what you plan, it's about what you execute. This perspective resonates with ancient wisdom too. Stoic philosophy builds on this exact foundation. The Stoics emphasized focusing only on what's within your control and taking action rather than being paralyzed by emotions or external conditions beyond your reach. Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." It's a powerful shift in thinking. The very obstacle that blocks your path is the one that can show you how to move forward. By facing your challenges directly, you build strength through motion. Each problem becomes a stepping stone, transforming barriers into bridges. But how does this play out in daily life? Think about the simple moments, like when you didn't feel like doing a basic task. Say, cleaning your cluttered desk. At first, it felt tedious, maybe even pointless. But once you began, something changed. Momentum took over. Soon, you weren't just cleaning the desk. You were organizing your whole workspace. The action itself created the motivation to do more. Initially, you might not feel like doing a task, but once you start, you gain momentum, and before you know it, you're organizing your entire workspace. The action itself creates the motivation to do more, turning a small task into a productive spree. Moreover, seeing the results of your actions provides a psychological boost. This is known as the progress principle. Even minor progress in meaningful activities can boost your emotions, perceptions, and motivation levels. As you see the fruits of your labor, no matter how small, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to pleasure and motivation. This release propels you to continue pursuing those rewarding feelings. The lesson here is clear. Don't wait to get motivated. Instead, dive into action. Whether it's starting a new project, tackling a challenging task, or pursuing a long-term goal, the act of beginning can transform your mental and emotional state. You shift from inertia to dynamism. Each step forward makes the next step easier. To implement this, start with something small. The smaller the action, the lower the barrier to entry. Once you've taken the initial step, the next ones feel less daunting. This creates a positive feedback loop of action and motivation. Let's talk about a technique that might seem like it's straight out of a motivational seminar, but is actually grounded in both ancient wisdom and modern psychology: visualization. This isn't about wishful thinking or just hoping for the best. Visualization is a proactive strategy that involves vividly imagining yourself achieving your goals. It's about creating such a compelling vision of success that your motivation to make it a reality skyrockets. Why does this method work? When you visualize achieving something, you're doing more than just fantasizing. You're engaging the same neural pathways in your brain as if you were actually performing the action. Athletes often use this technique to enhance their physical performance. They visualize themselves executing a perfect pitch or sprinting through the finish line. This mental rehearsal prepares their minds and bodies for the actual event, boosting confidence and improving results. But it's not just athletes who benefit. You can use visualization to prepare for any task. Spend a few minutes each day picturing yourself successfully completing your projects or reaching your goals. You're essentially laying down a blueprint in your mind. Carl Jung echoed this process, believing that what you resist persists in your unconscious. What you focus on grows. By focusing on positive outcomes, you condition your mind to view success as not just possible, but probable. The Stoics also practiced a form of visualization called premeditatio malorum, which involved imagining potential obstacles and preparing for them. While this might sound pessimistic compared to success visualization, the core idea is similar. Mentally rehearse what you might face so you're ready when it comes. Combining this with positive visualization strengthens mental resilience and readiness. Visualization also taps into the law of attraction, the idea that you attract what you focus on. By vividly imagining success, you align your energy and actions with your goals. This isn't magic, it's about setting the tone and intention for your behavior. Imagine you just nailed an important presentation. Visualize the applause, the proud feeling, the nods from your peers. How does it feel? What are you wearing? What are the sounds around you? The more detailed your visualization, the more real it feels, and the more likely your brain is to act in alignment with that vision. This practice also helps overcome fears and anxieties about potential failure. It shifts your mindset from "what if I fail" to "what will it be like when I succeed?" That mental shift is powerful. It moves you from avoidance to anticipation. By regularly visualizing positive outcomes, you build a natural tendency to take actions that support those outcomes. Add visualization to your daily routine. Just a few focused minutes each day can reshape your perception and attitude. Make your visualizations vivid and detailed. Think about the sensations, the environment, even the emotions you want to feel. This not only boosts confidence, but makes your success feel more achievable. Now, think about how often we say, "I'll do it tomorrow." Tomorrow becomes a catch-all for hopes, plans, and especially procrastination. But what if we shifted that mindset and embraced the power of now? What if we made this very moment the starting point of our progress? Tomorrow is often the busiest day of the week, but it never really arrives. We keep pushing tasks into a mythical future where motivation and energy magically align. But the perfect moment doesn't exist. The best time to start is now. This idea echoes Stoic teachings, which emphasize living in the present and not letting past or future worries disrupt your peace. Marcus Aurelius said, "Confine yourself to the present." This advice reminds us that the present is all we truly own, and it's in this moment that we must take action. Psychology supports this too. Taking even the smallest step toward a goal right now creates momentum. Behavioral scientists found that starting a task, even in a tiny way, reduces anxiety and increases the chances of follow-through. This is due in part to the Zeigarnik affect. We remember unfinished tasks better than finished ones. Your brain keeps a mental note of what's left incomplete, nudging you to resume and finish. By starting now, you engage this natural tendency to complete tasks. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of action over intention, suggesting that what we do defines us more than what we plan. Each action shapes your identity more than any promise or goal ever could. So how can you harness the power of now? Start by asking, what is one thing I can do right now to move closer to my goals? It doesn't have to be big. Small, consistent actions build major achievements. Whether it's writing a quick email, sketching a rough outline, or tidying your space, each effort adds up. Acting now helps break cycles of procrastination and perfectionism. Waiting for ideal conditions is a trap. Perfection is an illusion that delays progress. Instead, embrace imperfect starts. There's wisdom in the phrase, "Done is better than perfect." Doing something, anything, moves you closer to your goals than endless planning ever will. When you accept the present as your power zone, you align with another Stoic gem. Epictetus taught that we should only focus on what we can control. This approach simplifies choices, builds confidence, and reminds us that ownership of our actions starts now. Every task you complete is a step toward your greater goals. And every reward is a celebration of your dedication. Now, don't forget to check out one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue your journey with us. Dive deeper, learn more, and stay inspired. Thank you for joining us here at Stoic Aura. Keep moving forward. Keep striving, and keep celebrating your wins, no matter how small.